Welcome to the video for Lecture 2.1, in which we will begin discussing the molecules that are important for life. This video assumes that you have already taken an introductory chemistry course and that you have an understanding of atoms, molecules, and how bonds are formed. We will learn about how carbon is everywhere in living organisms, and over the course of the next few videos, we will learn about the macromolecules in the food we eat. Our learning objectives for this video are to understand why the element carbon forms the basis of organic molecules found in living organisms, recognize the different functional groups that can be found in organic molecules, and list the four major types of biological molecules. Each of the four molecules will have their own video. First, let's discuss the elements that are most commonly found in living organisms. As you can see here, the four most common elements found in the human body are oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, and nitrogen. This holds true for all other living organisms, although the ratios are different from organism to organism. All living organisms contain organic molecules. Organic molecules, by definition, are created from a carbon backbone, with hydrogen often bonded to carbon. This creates hydrocarbon chains, which are literally a chain of carbons and hydrogens bonded together. They form the basis of many components of living cells, including the four major macromolecules that we will be covering in the next few videos. But why carbon? Recall that carbon has 4 valence electrons, as seen here. It is atomic number 6 on the periodic table, which means it has 6 total protons and electrons, and 4 of them are in the outer ring. The 4 valence electrons allow carbon to form up to 4 covalent bonds. You can see that it is bonded to 4 hydrogens here, creating a hydrocarbon. This hydrogen can also instead be another carbon bonded to more hydrogens, creating a hydrocarbon chain. Carbon also happens to be the smallest element that is able to form 4 bonds, which helps because larger elements have a more difficult time forming stable bonds. A key aspect of hydrocarbon chains is that they are incredibly versatile. They can be short but also incredibly long. They can be linear, branched, or cyclic, as you can see in these examples here, or even different combinations of these shapes. They can also form single or double bonds, or even triple bonds. Some organic molecules are formed purely from carbon and hydrogen, such as these examples here, but many more also include other elements. This includes oxygen and nitrogen, the other 2 abundant elements in the human body, as well as phosphorus and sulfur, which are relatively abundant compared to the other elements, but much less so. This brings us to functional groups. All organic molecules will have a carbon skeleton that is composed of hydrocarbons. However, these carbons can also be attached to other molecules instead of to another carbon or to a hydrogen. You will find that many of these molecules that are attached to these carbon skeletons show up over and over again, and these are known as functional groups. Functional groups are a specific combination of atoms bonded together into a molecule, and these molecules will always have the same chemical properties and react the same way. This is a table of some of the most common functional groups you will see, and the macromolecules they are found in. How an organic molecule behaves will depend on which functional groups it has. The R stands for remainder of the molecule, which in this case is the carbon skeleton. Hydroxyl groups are simple, as they are just an oxygen bonded to a hydrogen. Here I put that they are found in many things, which really just means that they can be found in carbohydrates, nucleic acids, and some proteins and lipids. The OH group is probably most commonly associated with alcohols. The oxygen gives a hydroxyl group a polar characteristic. Carbonyl is a carbon double bonded to an oxygen and is commonly found in carbohydrates and nucleic acids. They are also polar. Carboxyl groups are more acidic and are generally associated with carboxylic acids, which, as we will learn, is an important component of all amino acids, the building blocks of proteins. They can also be found in some lipids. The amine group is more basic and is another important component found in amino acids. They are also found in nucleic acids. The sulfhydryl is similar to hydroxyl with a sulfur instead of an oxygen, but the bond is weaker. It is found in some amino acids and is responsible for some strong odors, such as the rotten egg smell you may have experienced at places with hot springs. The phosphate group is generally negatively charged and is found in nucleic acids. This is particularly important for ATP, the energy currency of the cell. All these different molecules and functional groups come together to form larger molecules called macromolecules, with macro literally meaning big. There are 4 main types of macromolecules: carbohydrates, nucleic acids, proteins, and lipids. Most of these macromolecules, with the exception of lipids, have a monomeric form that acts as a single unit, and these single units combine together to form a polymeric form. In this case, mono means one, poly means multiple, and mer means a repeating unit. Monomers are joined together through a process called dehydration synthesis. In this process, you can see a monomer 1 here with a hydroxyl group, and a monomer 2 also with a hydroxyl group. The oxygen in black here on monomer 2 will undergo a reaction that ends with it forming a covalent bond with a carbon on monomer 1. During this process, the hydrogen and hydroxyl group in blue will leave their respective monomers and form water. The water leaving is why this is called dehydration synthesis. Likewise, polymers can be broken back down into monomers through hydrolysis. In this case, the addition of water helps break the covalent bond, hence hydro, water, and lysis, which means break down. In this video, we learned that hydrocarbon chains composed of carbon and hydrogen form the basis of organic matter and are useful due to their versatility in size, shape, and ability to form different covalent bonds. They can also be attached to different functional groups, which will influence the overall properties of the molecule. There are 4 main macromolecules that we will be discussing over the course of the next few videos: carbohydrates, nucleic acids, proteins, and lipids. Most of these macromolecules have a monomer form and a polymer form. Monomers can be combined into polymers through dehydration synthesis, and polymers can be broken down into monomers through hydrolysis. In the next video, we will talk about carbohydrates, an important energy source for all living things. Thanks for watching.